Oh yeah, it's Wario time. Wario. The man, the franchise, the idea is well established at this point in time. Making his first appearance in Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, Wario would debut as the game's main antagonist, and soon after would star in his own franchise of side-scrolling adventures in the Wario Land series, and even a chance at a 3D platformer with Wario World. It's been some time since this goblin-shaped greedy grinner has had a game with a proper return to form. Nowadays it seems like all we're getting are installments in the WarioWare microgame spin-off series. While I don't hate WarioWare, its frequent title releases have created a fatigue for fans wanting Wario to return to his old roots while reshaping his identity. Wario used to be immortal after all, he said so himself. Yeah! But now he's shackled to the fates of selling indie games catered to people with TikTok attention spans by day, and selling gas station pills by night. But amidst Wario's microgame macrodosing and carnal KDA farming, another Nintendo franchise emerged from the ashes as foretold by the 10 Commandments. Released on July 17th of 2025 and developed by 1UP Studio, the same team responsible for creating Mario Odyssey, Donkey Kong Bananza would deliver a unique 3D platformer unlike anything else available. On top of sporting a revision to his design and gaining a new companion in Pauline, Donkey Kong gets to play around with two of Bananza's standout mechanics, terrain and Bonanza transformations. Bonanza transformations give Donkey Kong access to new properties and moves tied to whichever form he's taking. Kong gives DK the ability to punch and tear through the hardest destructible terrain in the game. Ostrich allows you to glide and might as well break the game in half. Elephant can vacuum up terrain and use them whenever. Snake gives you a charged jump, a double jump, and the ability to slow down the world. While Zebra allows you to walk on water in crumbling terrain. It's honestly kinda useless outside of its niche case, but at least the song is pretty good. Then there's the way that terrain works in Bonanza. Donkey Kong can rip off chunks of terrain from any surface with a few exceptions, and these chunks of material can be used in several ways depending on the material itself. Use that chunk of terrain as a weapon, whether it be close-up or thrown like a projectile. Make it a tool for movement by either using it as a platform for a one-time double jump, a makeshift board to surf on and avoid hazards, or material to grind on zip lines. Then there's the way that certain materials interact with each other, like how sand can stick and stack together to create paths to walk on or climb on. Ice can cool lava to make it traversable. Rainbow chunks acting like a balloon that lifts you up high into the air, and much more. But when you combine Bonanza's transformations, the terrain interactions, and the fact that it feels really good to move around as Donkey Kong, it all complements the level design and leads to a fun experience that has you asking, what else is possible? Yet, as I played through Bonanza, I couldn't help shake the certain feeling that another character could have been the star of this adventure with a few tweaks here and there. I'll make things clear, I love Donkey Kong Bonanza and I wouldn't want to change it. Not only did it make Pauline an actual character and not just Jump Up Superstar the song personified, Bonanza also gave us some solid characters in Grumpy, Poppy, and Void Kong. But most importantly, it brought everyone's favorite villain in King K. Rool back into relevancy. With all that said, I couldn't help but think about how Wario would unironically be a fitting rhetorical alternative character to a game like Bonanza. And to an extent, I guess the Ice Climbers, but nobody really cares about them outside of Smash Bros, so I'll talk about them later. Back to Wario. Now I could give the obvious answer of money because of all the gold being everywhere in Bonanza, but it's much more layered than that. The vibes, gameplay, setting, and arguably the story beats that Bonanza has in a way feels Wario-coded, and has me wanting Wario to get another shot at a 3D platformer. The idea of Wario splunking all the way down to the center of the world for a wish to get what he wants most isn't even the most obscure premise for an adventure, considering Wario has gone tomb raiding for priceless treasures only to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet in Wario Land 4. Wario Land Shake It has Wario literally dimension hopping. Not to save the imprisoned species called Merfolk and their queen Merelda, but instead to commit several accounts of armed robberies, breaking and entering, hijacking Mokoload of vehicles, irreparable geographic damage via earthquakes caused by his fingers, and lastly obtaining the bottomless coin sack that would devalue the Shake Kingdom's currency. But it got me thinking about what a possible new 3D Wario game could be like. Then I started brainstorming a narrative point, antagonists, and even a potential setting like sailing the seas and traversing through a series of islands for treasure, whether it's his or just something that caught his eye because it's the most reasonable thing to get Wario to do something. I like the approach that Bonanza had of mixing old with new and think Wario could benefit from that. Bringing back a character like Queen Merelda to be a companion to Wario would be a nice way to give her an actual chance to be a character rather than just a face after being done dirty by Shake It's ending.
Oh yeah.
Maybe she's been transformed into a Merfolk and needs Wario's help to get back to how she was. It can lead to moments that develop Merelda and Wario's characters. I would have opted for another character like Princess Shakora, but according to the wiki, she moves on to the afterlife at the ending of Wario Land 4. But realistically, I could see Wario either adventuring by himself or being paired up with a new character. It'd kind of be fitting for Merelda to get cucked not once by Wario in favor of money, but twice by Nintendo not giving her the light of day. As for antagonists, it wouldn't be unrealistic to think of Captain Syrup returning for the role with a reformed Black Sugar Gang and some newcomers. Whether they'd be working together like the Brutals did with Bowser, or how Void Company got the spotlight robbed from them by King K. Rool and the Kremlings. Captain Syrup has been a rival to Wario in previous Wario Land games, and even takes away the economy crasher away from Wario after he defeats the Shake King. It'd be pretty interesting to see her make a comeback considering she's the first female villain to appear in the Mario franchise. A cunning and deceptive character at that too. I could easily see Captain Syrup causing some problems for Wario to face, whether it's enemies to stop him, or obstacles to get in the way like child support services for abandoning the Wario-lings with surprisingly good motor skills. Wario is known for his brutish strength, grotesque transformations, treasure hunting, and puzzle elements. My thought process for how I'd imagine gameplay is loosely based off of Bonanza, but with more of a core focus on what Wario has been capable of in previous iterations. I'd imagine Wario moving around like a chimera of Odyssey, Mario, and Bonanza Donkey Kong. Wario's had transformations that have helped him solve puzzles and make progress on his journey, but they've all been pretty conditional. Maybe this time he can swap into those transformations on demand, whether it's through some assistance or treasures he's collecting along the way. I think nostalgic levels like Palm Tree Paradise and the Sweet Stuff, or even the escape timer mechanic, could be incorporated into challenge segments, along with dedicated level designs for these transformations or enemies, much like how Odyssey and Bonanza had these segments. Playing into the whole idea of the setting being islands, these islands can have their own respective themes and mechanics that highlight the transformations. Like an island that is enshrouded in harsh dark storm clouds with occasional lightning strikes, that give something like Vampire Bat or Zombie Wario a chance to be used to either get around indestructible cramped spaces or grates to access collectibles while swapping back to regular Wario to break obstacles or enemies whose transformations can't be dealt with because of light enemies or hazards. As much as I enjoyed how terrain works in Bonanza and could realistically see Wario doing the same, I think the destruction of terrain should be toned down to let transformations really shine, whether it be used for exploration, handling specific enemies, or puzzle solving. Combat should be relatively simple. Wario World already has a good foundation and really just needs to polish up on how it feels to control Wario. Add some utility to the transformations along with carrying over the skill tree Bonanza had to allow for more ways to play, and it could be the perfect system to play as Wario in combination of the enemy catalog that can be pulled from older games along with new additions to really let players experiment with the possibilities. The last thing I would touch up on is cosmetics and collectibles, which is pretty straightforward. Give Wario and whatever companion he has costumes that they can swap into after getting enough collectibles. I think Odyssey is a perfect example of this, with Mario not only getting outfits based off of the kingdom that he visits, but also some fun references to other characters or even past games. Bonanza gives Donkey Kong color palette swaps for his fur along with different overalls and ties, but Pauline gets some love that follows the same philosophy Odyssey had. Wario already has a good selection of costumes to choose from, like Supreme Overlord Pope Wario, Count Wario Flow, and Captain Wario. Bonanza's collectible fossils are effectively perfect and would just need to be reskinned into Wario-adjacent treasures that can be either references to older entries in the series or the location that they're found in. While that's everything that I got for Wario, I'll briefly talk about the potential pair. The Ice Climbers are kind of a strange case because, in all fairness, Nana and Popo are essentially blank slates outside of the surface value analysis that Ice Climbers provide. They're only kept relevant through the Smash Bros. Series and have a few rare cameos, but even then, there's something endearing I find about them. The whole premise of Bonanza also got me thinking about these two, but were overshadowed by the initial thought of Wario. The only difference is that instead of scaling mountain peaks, it's a journey to the center of the earth. Nana and Popo already break through blocks and enemies alike with their mallets to get to where they need to be, minus the transformations. But I think a better style for these two would be a 3D reimagining of the original title with more diverse locations that could be a solo or co-op puzzle platformer, sort of like It Takes Two, but with the chance to do something with Nana and Popo, like letting us know who they are. While I think the idea of Wario getting a 3D revival title is plausible, I don't think the Ice Climbers getting another installment is probable. It's much safer to release another 3D Mario title that will be guaranteed to sell than bring back a dormant franchise from the vault. But then again, we've seen franchises like Kid Icarus come back seemingly out of nowhere. So maybe it's just a matter of time and a miracles of events away from happening. Bonanza reminded me how much I really want Wario. Not in a sexual way, mind you. I'm pretty sure he has all the balls he could ever want. What I mean is, I want to see the Wario that's deranged and stubborn enough to fight everything ranging from a Zootopia character fallen on hard times, to the Waffle House cook during a full house. The same guy that will travel through a Studio Ghibli movie and the remains of Ocean Gate's reputation. Whether he comes back to his treasure hunting roots in 2D or 3D, this is just something that I thought up of after playing Bonanza to 100% completion. I'm just a graphic designer who thought it'd be fun to share my thoughts. If you like what you saw, you should consider liking, subscribing, sharing the video, and all that fun stuff. It helps the channel grow and reach people who want to see more content like this. Did I mention it's free? Until next time.